3 months, Amara. 3 months you've been seeing him.
So what do you want me to say? That I'm sorry?
I want you to tell me why. Just why.
Because you were never here, Tunde. You think marriage is just paying bills? When was the last time we talked about anything real?
So you go and sleep with another man? That's your solution?
Don't make me the villain here. You pushed me to this. Your silence, your coldness. You killed this marriage long before I ever met Kola.
I loved you, Amara.
Love? You don't even know what that means.
Please, don't go.
It's too late. Goodbye, Tunde.
But the truth was far from what she claimed. 5 years ago, Tunde and Amara were the couple everyone envied. Their wedding was the talk of Lagos. 300 guests, a live band, and vows spoken with tears of joy streaming down both their faces. Tunde was a young engineer at an oil company, ambitious, hardworking, but still present. He would come home and tell Amara about his day. They would cook together, laugh at silly inside jokes, stay up late talking about their dreams. Amara was a marketing executive, vibrant, beautiful, full of life. She adored Tunde. She would wait for him by the window, her face lighting up when she saw his car pull into the compound. They were in love, genuinely, deeply in love. But love, no matter how strong at the beginning, requires maintenance, and they both stopped maintaining it. The cracks started small, so small neither of them noticed at first. 2 years into their marriage, Tunde got promoted, senior engineer, better pay, bigger responsibilities, longer hours. It's temporary, he told Amara, just until I establish myself, then we'll have more time together. But temporary became permanent. He started leaving home at 6 a.m. and returning at 10 p.m. Sometimes he didn't come home at all, sleeping at the office to meet project deadlines. Amara tried to understand. She told herself, he's building our future. This sacrifice is for us. But understanding doesn't fill the emptiness of eating dinner alone every night. It doesn't warm the cold side of the bed. It doesn't replace the conversations that stopped happening. She began to feel like a roommate, not a wife. Tunde,
can we talk?
She would ask when he finally came home.
Not now, babe. I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted. We'll talk this weekend. But weekends came and went, and the conversations never happened. Meanwhile, Amara's own frustrations at work were mounting. Her boss was difficult, her projects were stressful, and she had no one to share these burdens with because Tunde was always too tired, too busy, too distracted. She started to feel invisible in her own marriage. Drop a like if you've ever felt invisible to someone you love. The story is about to take a darker turn. Keep watching. By their 3rd year of marriage, they had become strangers who shared an address. Tunde would come home, eat the food Amara had prepared when she still had the energy to cook, grunt a few words, and retreat to his laptop or fall asleep on the couch. Amara stopped trying to reach him, stopped waiting by the window, stopped cooking elaborate meals, stopped asking about his day because she knew the answer would be a distracted, fine. The silence between them grew thicker, heavier, suffocating. But here's what Amara didn't know. Tunde was suffering too. He wasn't just working for ambition, he was working because he felt the weight of expectations, his family's expectations, society's expectations, his own expectations of what it meant to be a successful man. He saw other men at his age buying houses, sending their parents on vacations, driving luxury cars. He felt inadequate. He felt like he wasn't providing enough. So he worked harder, thinking that if he could just earn more, achieve more, he would finally feel worthy. Worthy of Amara's love, worthy of being called a good husband. But in trying to provide everything material, he forgot to provide the one thing Amara actually needed, his presence. And in her loneliness, Amara began to look for that presence elsewhere. Kola was everything Tunde wasn't. At least, that's how it seemed to Amara at first. He was her colleague at work, charming, attentive, funny. He noticed when she got a new hairstyle. He asked about her day and actually listened to the answer. He made her laugh, something she hadn't done in months. It started innocently. Coffee breaks, lunch meetings that lasted a little too long, text messages that were just slightly too personal. "You deserve better than how your husband treats you," Kola would say with concerned eyes. And Amara, starving for attention, drank in his words like water in a desert. She told herself it was just friendship, just someone who understood her. Nothing wrong with having a friend who made her feel seen, right? But emotional affairs have a way of becoming physical ones. One evening, after a particularly stressful work presentation, Kola offered to drive her home. They stopped for drinks first, just to decompress, they told themselves. 2 drinks became 4. 4 became 6, and 6 became the excuse they needed to stop pretending this was just friendship. They kissed in the parking lot of the bar. Then they drove to a hotel. Amara knew it was wrong. Every fiber of her being screamed that she was crossing a line she could never uncross. But the loneliness, the neglect, the months of feeling unwanted, it all drowned out that voice. "Just once," she told herself, "just once I want to feel desired." But once became twice. Twice became a pattern, and the pattern became a full-blown affair that lasted 3 months before Tunde discovered it. Comment affair if you think Amara is wrong, or neglect if you think Tunde pushed her to it. But wait, there's more to this story than you think. Tunde found out by accident, the worst kind of discovery. He had come home early one day, planning to surprise Amara with flowers and a dinner reservation. He wanted to fix things. He had finally realized that his marriage was dying and he was ready to fight for it. But when he arrived home, Amara wasn't there. Her phone was, though, left on the kitchen counter buzzing with notifications. Tunde wouldn't normally check her phone. He wasn't that kind of husband. But something about the frequency of the messages, the time of day, the way the name Kola Heart flashed on the screen, something made him pick it up. The messages were explicit, loving, detailed, plans to meet at their usual place, references to things they'd done together, promises of things they'd do next time. Tunde's world shattered in that moment. All the hours he'd worked, all the sacrifices he'd made, all the future he'd been building, for what? So his wife could find comfort in another man's arms? He sat on their bed, the bed where they'd once made love, dreamed together, promised forever, and he wept. When Amara came home hours later, he was still sitting there, her phone in his hand. She saw his face and knew immediately. There was no point in lying. But instead of apologizing, instead of owning her betrayal, she did what hurt Tunde even more. She blamed him. "This is your fault. You neglected me. You made me feel worthless. What did you expect would happen?" And that brings us back to the confrontation you witnessed at the beginning of this story. But here's where the story takes a turn that Amara didn't see coming. After she walked out that door, after she left Tunde broken and alone, she went straight to Kola's apartment. She called him, crying, saying she'd finally left her husband, that they could finally be together properly. Kola's response? Silence. Then, "Amara, I think we need to talk." She arrived at his place expecting comfort, expecting him to celebrate their freedom to be together openly. Instead, she found him packing boxes. "What's going on?" she asked, confused. "I'm moving," Kola said, not meeting his eyes. "My wife is transferring to Abuja and I'm going with her." Amara felt the ground shift beneath her feet. Your wife?" "Yes, my wife. We've been married for 8 years. I thought you knew. I never hid it." "But you said you loved me. You said I deserved better than Tunde." Kola sighed, finally looking at her. "Amara, you're a great woman. You really are. And yes, we had something special, but you were never meant to be permanent. You were an escape for both of us. Surely you knew that." The truth hit Amara like a physical blow. She had destroyed her marriage for a man who had been playing her all along. She had traded a husband who, despite his flaws, had been faithful and committed for a married man who saw her nothing more than a convenient distraction. "So, what was I to you?" she whispered. Kola shrugged. "You were what you needed to be at the time, and I was what you needed. We used each other, Amara. Let's not pretend it was more than that." She left his apartment in a daze. For the first time since the affair began, she saw herself clearly. A woman who had thrown away something real for something fake. a woman who had blamed her husband for her own choices, a woman who had convinced herself that her unhappiness justified her betrayal. And now she had nothing. No husband, no lover, just the crushing weight of consequences. Hit that subscribe button. You won't believe what happens next. This story isn't over yet. 3 weeks after that confrontation, Amara tried to come back. She showed up at the house, the home she had walked out of so confidently, with tears in her eyes and apologies on her lips. Tunde, please, I made a terrible mistake. Kola was using me. You were right about everything. Please, can we try again? Tunde looked at her, really looked at her, for a long moment. And in that moment, Amara saw something that terrified her. He looked at her like a stranger. Do you know what the hardest part was? Tunde said quietly. It wasn't the cheating itself. It was that night when I confronted you. You made me feel like I deserved it. You made me question everything. Was I really such a terrible husband that you drove her to another man? Tunde, let me finish. His voice was calm but firm. I spent weeks replaying every moment of our marriage. Yes, I worked too much. Yes, I was absent. Yes, I neglected you emotionally. I own all of that. But Amara, you had choices. You could have told me you were unhappy. You could have demanded we go to counseling. You could have even said you wanted a divorce. But instead, you chose to betray me, and then you chose to make it my fault. Tears streamed down Amara's face. I know I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything to fix this. Tunde shook his head slowly. Some things can't be fixed, Amara. Trust, once broken like this, can't be glued back together. Every time I look at you now, I'll see you with him. Every time you're late coming home, I'll wonder if you're cheating again. Every time you smile at your phone, I'll feel that knife in my chest again. That's not a marriage. That's a prison. So you're giving up on us? No, Tunde said sadly. You gave up on us 3 months ago when you climbed into his bed. I'm just accepting reality. He handed her divorce papers. She stared at them in disbelief. Sign them, Tunde said. Let's end this with whatever dignity we have left. Amara took the papers with shaking hands. She wanted to fight, to argue, to convince him to give her another chance. But looking into his eyes, she saw that the man who once loved her unconditionally was gone. She had killed that love with her own hands. She signed the papers, and as she left the house for the final time, she turned back once more. Tunde stood in the doorway, a shadow of the man she'd married. For what it's worth, she said, I really am sorry. And you weren't a terrible husband. I was a terrible wife. Tunde didn't respond. He simply closed the door. And this time, it stayed closed forever.
But the story doesn't end there. After she left the house, she didn't cry for long. Grief slowly hardened into anger. Not the loud kind, the dangerous, silent kind. She booked a flight to Abuja the next morning. Not to beg, not to reconcile, but to end it properly. She tracked Kola's location through old shared accounts and mutual friends. Sunday evening, a luxury restaurant in Abuja. Soft lights, wine glasses, his wife dressed in elegance, and Kola laughing like nothing ever happened. That laugh broke something in her. She stepped inside. He saw her. His smile died. She didn't scream. She didn't create a scene. She calmly walked to the table. Good evening, ma, she said to the wife politely. Then she introduced herself. I'm the woman your husband was sleeping with in Lagos. Silence. Restaurant quiet. Cutlery froze mid-air. Kola stood up immediately. Don't listen to her. She dropped printed messages, photos, hotel receipts, voice notes. The wife's hands trembled. Her face changed. But instead of reacting publicly, she stood up, looked at Kola, then walked out without a word. Kola grabbed her arm outside the restaurant. What is wrong with you, you lonely, bitter woman? That was the mistake. She slapped him, hard. Heads turned, phones came out. He lost his temper and shoved her slightly. And that's when everything changed. Because someone recorded it. By midnight, the video was online. Abuja businessman exposed by mistress. His wife didn't just call to break up. She sent divorce papers the next morning. But that's not the twist. The twist is this. She didn't feel victorious. She felt empty. Because revenge didn't fix what he broke. As she walked away from the airport days later, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. It was Kola's wife. Can we meet? Thank you for watching.
Subscribe for more powerful stories that make you think. See you in the next one.